Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my precious pack, and welcome back once more to VEGA Conflict, and as with what I said before, we're going to talk about phasing. So, what about the changes to phasing? I don't think much of anything of them, because if you mix the damage types, you can still outpace the phasing, you can reset the value, you can destroy the Pharmakon fairly quickly. Another issue that's coming up with Tier 8 for some stupid reason is that each of the equivalent ships of their counter factions and the faction are supposed to counter are faster than them, out of phase. And the problem is, once you get the Pharmakon out of phase, it's going to be difficult to re-enter phase. And in PvP, you can do something that is pretty disgusting, and that is bring a single Ajax into a fight and apply its counter phasing to all 6 ships, because you can have 6 instances of it per ship. All you need is one. You can drop the phase value by 15% charge rate, so their 25% increase means nothing because you can have 5 Umbra ships that constantly regenerate, an Ajax, which is indestructible to any damage type the Vectors or any Pharmakon ship could use for that matter, and it can just apply stasis, well, not stasis, phase hacking to them, and you only have a 10% increase, and well, 10% isn't much of anything because they were struggling to begin with, so the 10% will still be struggling. All because somebody brought an Ajax in with 5 Val Ravens. That Ajax could also have nothing but stasis equipment on board, so enjoy that while it literally could hold your ship still while the others feed on it. All the while that one ship is now a liability. Because your phase screen, the phase pool, is applied to all of them, and you're going to want a large number of ships, of Pharmakon ships, if you're using the phase pool, because the pools themselves, while they did increase in value, they're still poor. So, my thoughts on the phase change for this most recent one, they didn't change much of anything, they just increased the values back to what they were before, with the exception of the value. The defense value, it's back at 90% as it should have been, never should have been dropped. The pool size isn't even worth mentioning because you could sneeze in its general direction and it's going to fail still. Because the damage values for Tier 8, jump over to this one real quick, the damage values are high enough that they can completely outpace that. 6,300. Well, allow me to point out one thing. You can mix your damage types on the ships they're supposed to counter. They can't resist all the damage types. So you can use, on a Val Raven, 2 Blight Nova Drivers and 2 Nova Driver 3s, as well as Commander Clay, and you can boost the damage value of those level 3s up to 1,300 damage per second. All the while, the Pharmakon player can only choose, because of how poorly Tier 8 was set up, they can choose only to resist one of those 2 damage types, unless they use Tier 7 tech, but if you use Tier 7 tech on Tier 8, you're just asking to die because the damage values are just so much lower. Level 2 mesh screen, it has over twice what the level 3 plasma screen has level for Tier 7. And again, you can't use the ultimate defense. If they use different kinetic drivers or something like that, you can't resist all of it. So again, the major issue is when they get hit, it's going to hurt, and there's nothing they can do about it because of how they changed phasing. Second, the phase drain is far too quick. They wanted to encourage them to be hit and run ships. Well, you can't hit and run in 10 seconds. That's just not how the game works because of how you designed it. So any type of hit and run, if you want to try and make use of the exit phase abilities or anything like that, they're immediately null and void because you're not going to. You're going to be running. The entire Pharmakon kit for Tier 8 thus far has been to encourage reckless behavior, but in turn, that stupid reckless behavior gets your ships destroyed or gives you heavy amounts of damage, where you could use something as simple as Umbra ships. They literally have no drawbacks at all. That's what I think of the phase changes. Enjoy, everybody. Be safe, my pack. Happy hunting, and as always, I'll see you later. I'm off to get some rest.